Alright, welcome back to Rocky Creek Outdoors. Today we're going to be showing you how we're going to do all of our wiring. We're going to show y'all how to do some wiring if you want to do the same thing on your boat. Try to make y'all's lives a little bit easier. Last video we showed y'all how to paint the Optifade camo on the outside of your boat. We're going to do a little bit of painting on the inside here pretty soon and start laying our decking down, and we'll show y'all how to do that. One thing I recommend getting if you're new to wiring is MIC tuning switch panel. It's an 8-piece switch panel. That's what we need. It comes with all the wiring, your breaker box, connections for the battery, your mounts for your switch panel. It's going to save you a lot of time in the long run. And this is going to be where you connect all your wires to, which is, it's kind of like a fuse box too. It's got a built-in fuse system. Your wire is going to run into here, positive and negative. Tighten down these screws and you're set. Your wire's already ran. It's going to be ran to your battery and it's on a fuse. It's going to save you a lot of time. Comes with extra fuses, which is cool. Save you a lot of time. Something happens on the boat, you pop the fuse. It's going to save you some time, less stress. This is your MIC tuning switch panel. So instead of a regular switch panel, we have to flip the switches, and on the back of it, it's plenty of wiring. You don't want to do that. It's going to be a pain in your butt. So how this works is basically this just runs straight to the fuse box, and then you don't have to worry about no wiring on the switch panel, nothing. So it's out of your way, easy to hide the wire, super simple. Another thing that's included is all of your stickers for your switch panel, so you can have them labeled. It's going to give you plenty of them, a bunch of cool stuff, and kind of like a little run through on what all you have and how to wire everything if you need some help with that, which I think is awesome. The other thing that I picked up is these cable clamps to help up the tightening of the wire. I mean, it was like $1 for the pack of 18. I bought like 4 packs to make sure we're good on that. Picked up myself some 18 gauge to 14 gauge wire. This is 14 gauge. You can use 18 gauge or 16 gauge. I use the 14. It's a little bit thicker. It's 100 foot of it. Paid like 18 bucks on Amazon. Here's the navigation light I ordered. It's an LED in the front. It's going to set up with the front of the boat, just so we're legal on the water. Another thing that I ordered is these rear pod lights, so we can see what we're doing at the back of the boat. When we're putting out decoys, setting everything up. It's going to make our lives a little bit easier. And here's our front light bar. I believe it's a 28-inch light bar. I can't remember what it's from. The back light bars are from Nightlight. You can order them off Amazon. It's super cheap, but I mean, I run them on like everything and super bright. This was more of a high dollar light bar, and I mean, it's so bright. We love it. Can't wait to test that out on the water this year. And I mean, it's super simple to mount. Just literally just mount it front end on the front end of your boat. You could weld it. You could use cell tappers. You could use anything you feel like using. And same, just like any other wiring, it just runs straight down, 2 wires, tuck everything. It's gonna be super simple to wire, and we'll show you all step by step on how to do it and how we do it.
All right, guys, little update. So we got our rear pod lights done. We ran the wire up under this and tucked it, and we basically smushed them together and ran them into the same fuse. So instead of having to use 2 different switches, we can use 1 switch to turn them both on. And yeah.
All right, so on the fuse block switch panel thing, it's going to show you. So our negatives on the bottom, it shows you right here. It's your negative on the bottom, positives on the top. You have 2 screws for it. So basically you just unscrew it. It's going to slide a piece of metal down. You're going to take your 2 wires that you put together for our rear pod lights, or whatever you're doing them to. If you have to do 2 wires, you can do it that way. If you're doing a single connection, then it's a lot easier. But we took our 2 wires, ran them together, and we put them on the negative, just screwed the screw down. It takes that little piece of metal and it shoves it down against that wire in the bottom, so it connects there. And then you do the same thing with your positive, and we put this one in a 10 amp fuse. It's just two small lights, so don't really need a bigger fuse than that. And we'll pick y'all back up when we do some other stuff. All right, we just got done wiring for the most part. Got our navigation lights and light bar wired up there. Got them all tucked up into here so you can't see it. Again, we're going to touch everything up with the paint so you can't see these bright screws. our wires are just laid right here for now because the seat deck's gonna go over everything and cover it up so you're not gonna be able to see. This is our finalized spot where we picked this, our fuse box to stay. As you can see, we got our wires somewhat tidied up. Ran all the fuses. We ran our main power things, so like our fuel pump, our bilge pump, and the main light bar and the navigation lights, all bigger necessities than the little stuff. We put them on higher fuses, so a 30 amp fuse instead of a 10, just so if something went wrong, those didn't pop as quick as the smaller amp fuses. So we're happy with it. Looks good. Think everything went smoothly. It was so much easier to wire than a normal switch panel just because it's literally all plug and play. Tighten the screw down, you're done.
Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up today's video with tips and tricks on how to wire your MIC tuning, switch panel, and fuse block. That's it for Rocky Creek Outdoors. See you later.